Hello, everyone that's joining us on X, on Rumble, on YouTube. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to Alexander Sabe. Ladies and gentlemen, here we just come on and talk about what's going on in the news, what's going on around the world, and with only, ladies and gentlemen, 39 days. 39 days till the biggest election of our lifetime. I just feel that we we all need to do we all need to put our little grain of sand. We all just have to, if we love our country, if we love peace, if we love prosperity, if we don't want wars, or if we do not want to be lied to and be sending our money off to a foreign nation, I think every American has the duty, every human being around the world has the duty to speak out against the tyrannical Satanist governments that right now are occupying the world. As we know, the Bible says that Satan is the God with the little g of this world, and we all have a part to play. And here at Alexander Sabe, ladies and gentlemen, we just speak facts, speak facts with a little, a sprinkle of an opinion and a little bit of my attitude here. But we get straight to it. 39 days, ladies and gentlemen, till the biggest election of my lifetime, of my 34 years on this earth. And we're just here to wake up the masses, do whatever we can so we can have a prosperous, better world. I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want a better economy? Who doesn't want security? Who doesn't want safety? Who doesn't want peace? And as you know, I feel like voting for Donald J. Trump November 5th, it is the only way, whether you like him or not. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine here, a friend and neighbor close to me, and he's not the biggest fan of Donald Trump. He's not the biggest fan, but he says, look, Donald Trump, I don't believe he's a racist. I believe he's a hole. And, he's a businessman and he'll screw me and he'll screw you equally. And I said, well, okay. I mean, that's your opinion, not necessarily mine, but I can agree with that. But as far as you understand that Trump is not a racist and Trump had great economy, which he agreed to. With Trump, we had a safety at the border, which he agreed to. With Trump, we had no new world wars, which he agreed to. And I told him, well, hey, my friend, um, who who else besides Trump is there to vote for? Kamala? And he's like, nah, she's a communist, she's a Marxist, and I'm glad people are waking up to that simple fact because we are 39 days away. 39 days away, like Jack Posobiec put it, from nuclear war or affordable groceries. It's really that simple. And as we all know, the greatest
And listen.
salesman on the planet, Vladimir Zelensky, uh, Zelensky, I forget his first name, whatever. I'm getting those two confused. But Zelensky, the dictator, emperor of Ukraine, yes, a dictator and an emperor because he has canceled the elections in Ukraine. He banned, canceled the Orthodox Christian Church, which is the oldest founding church in the world, especially in that part of um, Ukraine, Russia, you know, of Europe. He has banned religious practices of the Christian Orthodox Church, and that is just uh, the perfect framework of what a communist does, of what a dictator does. They choke you up so you cannot express how you feel, so you cannot worship God and what is good, because everything that they're doing goes against what is good. And of course, um, here he is with his puppet master Zelensky. I mean, two puppets, because who is handling Biden? We know, he's not all there, and who's handling this little midget puppet? Um, the globalists, obviously, the globalist Satanist bankers who fund both sides of the war and who lust for war. They lust for blood. What these people do is human sacrifice. Essentially, they like human sacrifice. They love to see death and destruction all over the world because their father, the devil, requires it. And here he is with Biden, and Biden has an he has a PSA, a public service announcement to all Americans that who can't afford groceries, who have trouble paying their rent, who can't pay their medical bills, who can't give their children a better uh, just quality of life. He announces that instead of giving more money to those struggling Americans, veterans, families, single moms, single dads, homeless people, uh, he's directing $200 billion more for Ukraine. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is unreal. But let's hear it, because we got to hear from the horse's mouth. Don't take my word for it. Listen up.
We're going to discuss today now the Ukraine, how Ukraine going to prevail in this conflict. Sure. And I see two key pieces. First, right now we have to strengthen Ukraine's position on the battlefield. And that's why today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance.
Just 2.4 billions, just as a start, a little appetizer.
I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated for Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20. And this will strengthen Ukraine's position in future negotiations. Second, we look ahead to help Ukraine succeed in the long term. As you know better than anyone, as we said at the Washington summit, we have to support Ukraine in its path to membership to both the EU and to NATO, and continue to make reforms to counter corruption and strengthen democracy, which you're working mightily on right now. We have to ensure Ukraine has sufficient capabilities, and I mean sufficient capabilities, to defend against future Russian aggression. So I'm proud of the steps we've taken in our partnership on these fronts. Earlier this summer, we launched the Ukraine Compact with more than 20 nations committed to Ukraine's long-term security. And yesterday,
blah, 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 blah. Yes, more money for Ukraine, as reported by CNN. Biden announces 12.9 billion in military aid for Ukraine. More money, more problems around the world. Yes, this is where we are. More money for Ukraine, while you could barely afford groceries, while illegals are taking your jobs, while they're murdering your children, eating your pets, eating your cats and dogs, and you can barely afford to live. The greatest salesman in world history, Mr. Zelensky, it's here taking more of your hard-earned American tax dollars. and and this is what we want to vote for. Not me. Not me. Surely I am not for this. I am not for this. I'm talking about more escalations of war. China just tested and launched the Dogfin 31AG ICBM intercontinental ballistic missile yesterday that could go up to speeds to over 13,000 kilometers. Wow. Unbelievable. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is right. More missiles, more um, warfare, more weapons, more ICBMs. As we know, earlier this year, China and Russia strengthened their relationship to share intel, to share, uh, uh, just to strengthen their alliance. If shit hits the fan, Russia got the back of China, and China has the back of Russia. So when people say you know Ukraine, Russia, or United States getting involved, and Russia possibly declaring war on Russia if they give them the long range missiles. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is not only Russia, it is not only China, it's the whole BRICS nation against NATO. Don't get it twisted. This is not just Russia. This is not just these guys here. Oh no. This is full on scale uh World War III all around. All around. And China's over here flexing their muscles with their new intercontinental missiles that we know per Annie Jacobson in her new book and all of the talks she's been on Sean Ryan, Joe Rogan. I've seen all those two interviews and I'm reading her book. Basically, what we have is a 50-50 chance of deterring, maybe exploding an ICBM with a nuclear warhead. And guess what? This ICBM that China tested, it has capabilities of, having two nuclear warheads inside of it. So, we just escalate and continue to give Ukraine more money, more weapons. And look, I've predicted this for months, and I'm sticking to my guns. All right, Biden before leaving and Harris, if they see that they're not winning this election, if they see their internal polls, not the ones we see, not the ones who the Democrats buy, who the Republicans buy, the actual inside polling, which really gets the feel, the temperature in each state and around the country. If the Biden Harris administration sees that they're not winning this, and it's going to be too big, too rigged, too huge, okay? Then they're just gonna go ahead and give dictator Zelensky, the authorization to launch the Taurus missiles and the Shadow Storm missiles, and then it's full on World War III, and then they just leave Donald Trump with an almost impossible situation. Okay, that could be one. Another thing is that Biden Harris, by some satanic miracle, win these elections, or they're able to steal it, or they're able to postpone the elections. Um, 6 months down the line, they'll still escalate this war, and we'll be in our tippy toes, um, just expecting World War III, and eventually it will happen. Because anybody that knows history and the nuclear testing um, in the 60s, the secret meetings of the Pentagon and all these military generals, um, most of who have been declassified. And Amy Jacobson, in her book Nuclear War: A Scenario, she details the the uh, the uh, the focus is to bring Russia to its knees. That's what it is. You know, remember that the 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 drawings for the nuclear bomb, okay, were stolen by a German scientist when America first developed it, and he gave them to Russia. So the U.S., the intel agencies, the CIA, all of these people who worked so hard to get the nuclear bomb going, were so pissed, and then Russia began using that playbook, those drawings, and just building from it, and caught up to the United States. Remember that in the 80s, the United States had close to 70,000, over 70,000 per Annie Jacobson's book, nuclear weapons, 70,000, seven zero. And when Reagan came to power, and as he famously said, a nuclear war can never be fought because it can never be won. So they signed the agreement, and they started de-escalating and getting rid of nuclear arms. Supposedly they got rid of them, right? Most of the most of of all these weapons that were laying around the country, 70,000 of them. But now we are here. Now we are here. Nobody de escalating, nobody with the brains in the United States, who is currently in power in government to say, hey, a nuclear war cannot be won. So it should never be fought. I mean, it's very simple. Nobody wins in nuclear war. Nobody wins. But obviously, these Satanists who run the world, or who think that they run the world, think that their bunkers are going to save them, that they're going to live underneath the ground, and they're going to survive because they have mile long bunkers with everything necessary um, to survive a nuclear Armageddon. But as our boy Alex Jones says, they don't know that their bunkers will be their graves, and I sincerely believe that. According to the good book in Revelations, it says that the strong man, the great man, looked up at the stones and they cried out, "Fall onto me and kill me, kill me." There's gonna come a time where they're going to seek death, and death is going to run away from them, because the process is going to be their punishment, and they will be crying out, hide me, O rocks, from the wrath of the Lamb. Yes, the wrath of the Lamb that will descend upon the earth, because these people are not going to get away with it. They're not going to get away with eventually deploying nuclear weapons and killing billions upon billions of people. And they're going to think that they're going to rise after 10, 15 years in their bunkers. Um, and they're going to repopulate the earth. No, that's not what's going to happen. So, yesterday, Russia changed their nuclear doctrine. So usually the Russian nuclear doctrine has always historically been, um, attacked upon attack. If we're attacked, we're going to attack back. But in the Russian nuclear doctrine, it was always thought that we do not engage in nuclear war first unless we've confirmed that somebody has attacked us. We will never do it first. Now, in this change of nuclear doctrine, pretty much, Vladimir Putin is saying, I will defend Russia, and I will use nuclear weapons to do it. Whether I'm attacked first or not. If there is a big enough threat, I am authorizing the use of nuclear weapons. We need to understand that this is not a game. History tells us that this is not a game. These people will actually do these things. Eventually, as I said, because I believe in the good book of the Bible, these things will happen. But it's not our responsibility, or to just lay back and take it and just wait for these things to happen. Obviously, you could be the unfaithful servant who saw that his master was delayed and did nothing. And because of that, the unfaithful servant got thrown into the pits of hell. So don't get it twisted. You're not called here to just lay back and not be responsible and speak out against it and alert your neighbors and ready your families, but overall ready your spirit, because these things can take place. Believe it or not, this is not fear mongering. I take no pleasure in sitting here while I could be watching Netflix telling you guys these types of stories. I have no incentives, no ulterior motive, but to alert humanity, to alert my friends, to alert my families. And because I am a dad, I am a son, I'm a husband, I'm an American who loves his country, I'm a business owner who want to make sure my employees get paid every single week. And with things like these, it don't help, bro. It really doesn't help that we're escalating nuclear war by giving billions and more billions of dollars to a to a dictator in a foreign nation. I was, as you guys know, if you saw the live the other day, we were with Tucker Carlson. We were at this uh, one of his events with Alex Jones, Jack Posobiec, and Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson was clearly mad. He was like red in the face. I was close enough that I could see that he was like red in the face, very passionate. And this man really cares. This man does not have any other motive but to save America, but to speak out. It's like that the prophet Jeremiah, who said, "When my bone, when I shut my mouth, when I refuse to talk the word of the Lord, my bones dried up, and I felt like I was dying. My bones were drying, literally." And when you're passionate about your country, your family, your business, your neighbors, your community, your country, and just your planet in general, you get passionate about this. And Tucker Carlson was just like so mad and red in the face in his monologue at the beginning of the event, and he was saying, "How dare you? How dare you, Biden? How dare you?" Which is guy from Pennsylvania, the governor of Pennsylvania. I forget his name. The governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro. Yeah, Shapiro. How dare you lecture me about another country's problem when I'm walking around this city of Reading and there are people sleeping on the streets, veterans sleeping on the streets, people clearly struggling financially. And here's another here's another countless billions of dollars for you to fight a foreign war who we have no business in. We're fighting a war. We're funding a war. Understand, people, that has no has it just has no net positive for anybody. There is no net positive in fighting this war in Ukraine. Do not get it twisted. Vladimir Putin is literally asking women to have more than 10 babies. She's saying have kids. We need more people. We need more children. We need more. Have kids. Have kids. Well, in America, the birth rate in the rest of the world is declining below replacement rate. This guy, Vladimir Putin, who was supposedly you know, the world's worst boogeyman, the devil himself, he's the one supporting life, trying to de escalate. He called Biden out in the Tucker Carlson interview and said, "Hey, I haven't heard from Biden since 2021. I don't know. Nobody has contact. He has not contacted me. He has not wanted to negotiate." I mean, what kind of leader is these two people? I don't know if we could call them people, Biden and Harris, who they're supposedly the leaders of the free world and cannot sit down with the second nuclear power in the world to negotiate for the better of their people. But no, these people are just filled with ego, filled with hate, and they just literally want mutual destruction. They know that they will be destroyed, and they don't care. But they also want you to be destroyed. So they want to destroy their arch enemy, and they're okay with destroying themselves and me and you. So, I mean, this is just the reality of what we're facing here, and why we have 39 days to get Donald Trump in office. Donald Trump needs to get in the White House. God willing, look, the way things are going, me as a man of faith, as a Christian man, I can just say if Donald Trump doesn't win, God, it was God ordained. At the end of the day, the Bible says that God is the one who establishes kings and takes down kings. He's the sovereign God. He does what he wants to. So if Donald Trump is not elected, then I just know it is a straight path to the end times. It is a straight spiral tornado like just vacuum black hole that we're going to face, and we need to be ready for these things. And the first thing for you to get ready is to know that you need to get ready. That's why I appreciate all of y'all giving me your support here. And we want to create a community of like-minded people who understand that if you love your family, your country, your neighbors, your life, and the life of your children, we need to inform one another. We need to get ready. I need you, and you need me. A house divided cannot stand, but if a house is united, it will not fall. So this is where we need to create communities. That there is no such thing as a lone wolf. A lone wolf is a dead wolf. Eventually, it dies. So this is the type of information that they're not going to tell you unfiltered and to the point. And I'm just doing my part. Let's hear from Vladimir Putin about how he feels about Zelensky coming over to the United States, to Pennsylvania, a battleground state. He's over here galloping and, a walking money bag, just, taking money from everywhere. and supporting Kamala Harris. Let's listen to what the boogeyman, the supposed boogeyman is saying.
За последний год специалисты Министерства обороны, Министерства иностранных дел, аппарата Совета Безопасности и других ведомств провели глубокий всесторонний анализ, оценили необходимость.
Sorry, I realize I should probably read this, as some of you are probably going to be listening.
Корректировать
We have conducted a deep, comprehensive analysis and assessed the need to adjust our approaches to the possible use of nuclear forces.
наших подходов к возможному использованию ядерных сил. По результату
Based on the results of this work, a number of adjustments in terms of defining the conditions for the use of nuclear weapons were proposed. Let's hear the proposals.
результатом этой работы предложено внести ряд уточнений в части определения условий применения ядерного оружия. Так,
Thus, in the fundamentals draft, the list of states and military alliances in relation to which nuclear deterrence is carried out has been expanded.
в проекте основ расширена категория государств и военных союзов, в отношении которых проводятся ядерные сдерживания. Дополнен
The list of military threats, the neutralization of which nuclear deterrence measures are carried out, has been expanded.
перечень военных угроз, для нейтрализации которых выполняются мероприятия ядерного сдерживания. На что
Also, what I could especially like to draw your attention to in the updated version of the document
еще особо хотел бы обратить ваше внимание. В обновленной редакции документа агрессию
aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on the Russian Federation. So this is a direct, arrow, a straight. I'm saying it to you, America. Aggression against Russia by a non-nuclear state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on the Russian Federation, meaning just that. It does not have to be a nuclear power nation that attacks us for us to attack using nuclear weapons, but it could also be the nation supporting another nation who does not have nuclear capabilities. It's the same thing. It will be looked at as an attack from a nuclear power nation.
против России со стороны любого неядерного государства, но с участием или при поддержке ядерного государства предлагается рассматривать как их совместное нападение на Российскую Федерацию. Также
The conditions for Russia's transition to the use of nuclear weapons are also clearly
четко
stated.
фиксируются условия перехода России к применению ядерного оружия.
We will consider this possibility upon receiving reliable information about the massive launch of air and space attack weapons and their crossing our state border. Okay, so he said we will consider the ability receiving reliable information about massive launch of air and space attack weapons and their crossing our state border. So he's saying I'm proposing nuclear options. If there's any attack by a nuclear nation or a non-nuclear nation receiving aid from a nuclear nation, any attack past the sovereign nuclear border, we're going to consider the possibility of attacking using nuclear weapons.
Рассматривать такую возможность уже при получении достоверной информации о массированном старте средств воздушно-космического нападения и пересечении ими нашей государственной границы. Имею в виду
meaning strategic and tactical aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, hypersonic, and other aircraft. So all of these types of offensive capabilities would be considered an attack that can warrant a nuclear response. Tactical aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, hypersonic, and other aircraft, even drones. Wow.
самолеты стратегической или тактической авиации, крылатые ракеты, беспилотники, гиперзвуковые и другие летательные аппараты.
We reserve the right to use nuclear weapons in the event of aggression against Russia and Belarus as a member of the Union State.
Оставляем за собой право применить ядерное оружие в случае агрессии против России и Белоруссии как участника союзного государства.
All these issues have been agreed upon in the Belarusian side with the Belarusian president.
Русской стороной, с президентом Беларуси, все эти вопросы согласованы. В том
including if the enemy using conventional weapons creates a critical threat to our sovereignty.
числе, если противник, используя обычное оружие, создает критическую
So conventional weapons. So it's not only nuclear power, aircraft, drones, missiles, or whatever. Just the use of conventional weapons could warrant a nuclear response from Russia. We reserve the right to use nuclear weapons, even if a conventional attack using conventional weapon are used. I mean, we're going to break it down, but let's continue listening to this.
угрозу нашему суверенитету.
In conclusion, I note that all the adjustments are deeply verified and proportionate to modern military threats and risk in relation to the Russian
В
Federation.
завершение отмечу, что все уточнения являются глубоко выверенными и соразмерными современным военным угрозам и рискам в отношении Российской Федерации.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much right now the Russian nuclear doctrine has changed to pretty much whatever they feel like it's a threat to the sovereignty of Russia and or the Belarusian territory. So yeah, it's pretty alarming. It's pretty alarming because now a response from Russia could be triggered by just using conventional weapons. And that means just any type of attack. So, with this, everything just becomes more volatile, right? Because obviously we know that NATO, all of Europe that's involved in NATO, and the United States obviously is supporting that war in Ukraine, literally funding it. Again, another $200 billion today, approved by Biden for them to get before the end of his regime in January. And Vladimir Putin here pretty much says that they reserve the right to use nuclear weapons. They are no longer going to wait till they are attacked, their people are threatened, their sovereignty is threatened, to go ahead and start in nuclear Armageddon. Yeah. Nice.
За последние
So this is just where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. Russia are pretty much saying, hey, we can start nuclear war and use nuclear weapons if we just feel like a nuclear power country or a non nuclear power country is threatening the sovereignty of Russia or Belarus. That just opens up a world of possibilities for these Satanist, globalist tyrants and dictators that are in our government to just, oh, okay, so we can just stage an attack on Russia, um, and that can warrant a nuclear response. Yeah, great. So that's alarming. We need to understand that if we do not reverse course, we're pretty much, we're in for a very ugly fight. The world might not blow up yet, but we could be facing some very harsh times. People think that like we forget history so quickly, and just YouTube the history of World War I and Two and all the other wars and what it has done to the world in those countries. But it's like what they say: weak men create hard times, strong men create good times, right? And then the cycle starts all over again. Right now, we are at a stage where weak men are creating hard times because we have become weak because we just had too much good times. We just had we had too great of a run for the last 200 plus years in America, and we've gotten weak because of it. Our founding fathers who pledged their life, their fortunes, they put it all in the line. They put it all on the line, and we still got patriots like this gentleman here, Marcus Allen, who seeing misconduct at the highest forms, at the highest peaks of our government, spoke out. He spoke out about how the government was handling January 6th, all the corruption going on in the FBI, how people were just doing whatever they had to do to move up in rank, to get the bonuses, to check off the list of whatever supervisors gave them to do. And I encourage you to watch the documentaries by Epoch Times, um, Police State, I believe it's called, and it's just a history of January 6th and how grandmothers, old people, these regular families, Americans, young people who just visited, who went to hear Donald Trump speak, how the FBI raided their houses, how their lives got destroyed, how some of them are still till this day, till this very night, are still in jail, um, being tortured, because that's tortured. That's just straight up torture, what they're doing to these people. It's inhumane, it's cruel, it's unusual punishment. And you need to be aware of what is going on. These are the things that are going on, ladies and gentlemen, and our government has been corrupted. I believe the day that that the CIA shot John F. Kennedy, that's when this country failed. Might have began a few years before, but that's when these agencies completely took control in America, and and captured it. And after that, nobody has had the guts, the real guts, not even Donald Trump. I'm sorry to tell you, not even Donald Trump or the Republicans have had the guts to reform, defund, abolish these agencies. I do believe we need FBI. I do believe we need the CIA. I believe we do need these agencies. I know a little bit of that intelligence world, and have friends who work there, and they do good work. They do a lot of good work. Um, but at the top, it is completely rotten, corrupted, destroyed, inhumane, satanic. And I it's like Marcus Allen is gonna tell us in this short clip of 2 minutes, and you could go ahead and go to the weaponization committee X page and listen to the whole testimony, and how this man, a decorated Marine, a patriot, an American, a brilliant man, got treated by the FBI. 27 months, no pay. Okay, no pay. Um, they wanted to throw him in jail. They wanted to destroy this life. He almost lost his homes. He almost lost his family. I mean, what a sad story. And for us to not realize that this is happening in our country is just like I don't know. It saddens me, but I know that this wakes up a few, not everybody. Out of 100, maybe two get that glimpse of, like, get red pill, just look around them and realize what's really going on and the danger that they're facing, not only just nuclear war, right? And and you know and and by the way, I don't have this in today's news, but our government just sent a bunch of Marines and military service people over to the Middle East, because there is another war. Remember, with Israel and Hezbollah and then Gaza, um, with all of those people. So Israel has nuclear weapons. So does Iran. Oh yes, they do. So it's not just those threats. It's the threats at home of what these three later agencies are doing to us. If any of them are listening, I like to remember them that we're all gonna die, and I'm not making any threats. We're all gonna die, and we're going to see the face of God, whether you like it or not, whether you believe in karma, whether you believe in God, or whatever you believe in. There's always consequences to what you're doing. And I know there's good men and women who join these agencies, and we need you all to step up like Marcus Allen and tell the truth. Tell the truth about the Trump assassination. Tell the truth about January 6th. Tell the truth about uh, how they're going after Americans. Tell the truth. The truth will set you free. But lying and covering up, this will win you a warm seat in the pits of hell. I can assure you that. Let's listen to Marcus Allen here. A tough, heartfelt message to the American people.
This is a warning to the American people. I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve, and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce. It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. I welcome the work of the IG, but I think any type of lawless action, there's no legitimate time frame to rein them back in. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. To the American people, you have a duty as a citizen to vote, and I strongly urge you to do so. It's how you participate in the American experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim. Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard.
Absolutely.
My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. As a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions. That's for everybody, all my brothers and sisters of all faiths, and I know I'm Catholic, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
You know, Mr. Allen, the fact that there are servants like you who have borne up under persecution that a lot of political leaders in this country do not care about is the thing that heartens the American people. And I'm confident the American people will resolve the situation, no matter how weak Washington is in response.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously something is up. Something is up. Well, when you have just honest, good men like Marcus Allen, just telling us the FBI is lawless. The FBI, there is no legitimate time frame to rein in their ability to overclassify information, stonewall forever, and just do whatever they want. He's just basically saying the FBI is a lawless, powerful sub government that there is no legitimate process to right now correct them. He says vote. And we all know who he is saying to vote for. He is saying vote for Trump in essence. Vote for Trump. Second Amendment. Stock up ammunition. Learn to defend yourself. Buy guns and lots of ammo. Why is an ex-FBI agent telling us all these things? Why does a man put his life on the line saying all these things? He knows how dangerous the FBI is. He knows that he is excommunicated forever from any job in any government agencies. They know that they're going to make his life a living hell. They already did, and they will continue to. But this man is telling us the FBI is lawless. There is no legitimate way right now to check them, to reform them. So he says, first, vote. Second, arm up. Arm yourselves. And second, stockpile food. Third, stockpile food and pray. These people know that something is coming to America. People who actually don't care, who actually don't, that they don't stick out, they don't stick their neck out there like this. This is a serious man, a decorated Marine, an honest American, a man of God who's putting it all on the line so we can wake up. So we can wake up. Our government is completely captivated. And right now, there is no legitimate way but to kick them out, vote them out of office. Because if not, really tough times ahead are coming. They are inevitable. This is a defining moment in history, ladies and gentlemen. I'd rather be reading a book. I'd rather be planning my day tomorrow. But I care about what happened to this country as a Marine, as a father, as a husband, as just a decent human being who wants to live in peace, who does not want the government breathing down my neck, who does not want World War III. That's it. I'm not here for the views, for the likes, for the shares, to get famous off of this. I do not want to be famous. Where I live, there's barely any people here. I don't want to be around when shit hits the fan, quite frankly. And I don't know if I could say these things on Rumble, but Rumble's supposed to be a free speech platform, so I'm gonna say it. If you think that this is all just drama, that this is all, this guy is just there sticking his neck out for nothing, just to put fears in us, then that there's nothing else we can really do for you, my friend. There's really nothing we can do for you. And these are the things that, quite frankly, they keep me up at night when I see the country that I swore to protect and defend going this path. We gotta say something, ladies and gentlemen. It is your duty. It is your duty as a citizen of this world to be concerned for for your future, for the future of your generation. It is your duty. If you don't care, then you don't care, and that's fine. But most of us do, and this is what we need to wake up to. We need to wake up to the fact. We need to wake up to the fact that this is not a game anymore. This is not a game anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We've never been this close to nuclear war, Armageddon, complete destruction. Now more than ever, we need to get our spirits right. We need to inform ourselves. Look at what they're doing all over the world. In Brazil, they can't have X. They don't have any free speech platform. Maduro stealing the elections in Venezuela. The UN just meeting. The UN met over the weekend in New York, um, to just confirm and verify, and just turbocharge their agreement for Project 2030. 2030. That's what we are. The Project 2030, where they say you will own nothing and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. What these governments just did in New York, and I'll have a complete program dedicated to this. It's basically uh, giving away your sovereignty. We just had Obama, you know, he because he's the leader of all of this. He gives the final address to the UN, the puppet master Obama. The 2030 agenda goes up in smoke. Not really. Leaders all over the world agreed to turbocharge Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030, which we already know, is the agenda of you will own nothing and be happy. The agenda that you sign over the sovereignty of your nation. And I was reading the document this morning of the pact of the future. So that's what the 39 UN Assembly was to you know put the stamp on Agenda 2030. We're running out of time. You guys are not doing enough. We're not moving fast enough. The climate is changing. The seas are gonna take over and just grow and swallow up islands. While men like Obama, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they're buying islands. They're buying islands. They're buying beach property. But yeah, like Al Gore told us, hey guys, if we don't do something, if we don't get rid of fossil fuels, if we don't get all electric cars, if we don't stop the cows from farting, but in 10, 15 years, we're going to lose billions of people due to climate change. And 10 years later, all the islands are still there, billions of people have not died, and everything is the same per usual. Because climate change is a scam, we all know it. Climate change is a lie, we all know it. If you have half a brain, if you've done a little bit of studying and looked outside of mainstream media, media, not mainstream. I don't like to call them. I don't like to give them that credibility. They're not mainstream. They're dinosaur media. You realize that it's all a lie. So they just met in New York. The Pact of the Future is called Pact for the Future, and they just went ahead and sign the pact for the future that is going to, you know, recertify their commitment of 2030, of the 2030 world government of, and they have cute things in there like solving poverty, getting rid of nuclear weapons, which nobody's gonna do, climate change, of course, as the greatest threat to humanity, not nuclear war, not nuclear Armageddon like right now. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense because if they sign this pact and the U.S. is in there and all of the NATO nations signed this and agreed, and none of them abstained or rejected this pact for the future, agreeing not to escalate nuclear war, to get rid of nuclear weapons. Well, why don't they start doing it? Well, why don't they start now? When we're so close to nuclear Armageddon, why don't they start doing it now? So it's all a bunch of BS. It's just uh, the one world order, the one world government that they want to shoved down our throat with, with lube, with all the baby oil in Diddy's closet. They want to shove it down our throat so it slowly so it could fit. Pause. No homo. But that's what they want. They want to shove down our throat this lie, this bold-faced lie that all they want is a better future. All they want is just everybody to be in peace, no nuclear war. We just want peace. Yeah, peace my ass. Peace my ass. How about that? What they want is a world. It's a one world government. Is centralized digital currency. What they want is for us to live in 15-minute cities. What they signed, your nation, United States, and most nations in the world, aside from a few of them who abstained or voted against, the typical, Russia, Afghanistan, and the odd nations there. Those were the only nations who, and like I said, we're gonna do a whole program on this, and I'm reading the document. But they mentioned Agenda 2030. I mean, I lost count in page 16. I lost count at like 22. It was Agenda 2030. We have to turbocharge Agenda 2030. We have to push it. Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030. Well, you own nothing. You will own nothing and be happy. We'll just tell you what to do. You'll have no debt. You'll have no debt, guys, because you won't own anything. You know, you'll be living in a 500 square feet apartment, and you'll be happy. We'll feed you the food. We'll give you free food. As a matter of fact, we're going to allocate. We're gonna give you free money, so you're good. So you're happy, so you're comfortable, so you're nice and fat and happy and know that and just enjoying life, and then we could just slaughter you whenever we want, just so you could be a lamb, walking to the slaughterhouse, not opening its mouth. It's very funny with with my chickens. Chickens are smart, but also very, kind of dumb. So I could get my chickens. I could get them in anywhere. I could just a little bit of food, whatever. I could just fake it that I have some food in my hand. I could shake it. I could be like, here, chickens, here, chickens. You know what I mean? Like I have some, and they'll come running. You know, it could be I'm throwing a barbecue and I need a chicken. They'll all come. They'll all just volunteer because they just blindly trust. They just blindly follow. And this is not the time to blindly follow. This is not the time to put your head in the sand or up, your what. This is the time for you to stand as Americans for your families, for your country, for your livelihood, and reject a one world order where a foreign nation, a bunch of unelected demons are going to tell you what to do, what to eat, what to dress, what to say. And be careful with misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, and all the, inf- information that is not what they're telling you it is. Because if you do that, we're gonna throw the book at you. We're gonna send the drones. We're gonna send the robots to go get you. I was looking at a video the other day of a drone, of a drone dude, that like arrested the first let me see, a robot arrested some guy the first arrest by a robot, by a law enforcement robot, um, ever. I think this was in California, of course. And this guy got arrested. Let's share this video. Check this out. The robot SWAT. So this man throws like a some sheets in there, and then just the robot is messing, and then the guy is shooting at it. There's shots. He has a gun, and then the robot um throws some gas in there, and then just runs him over. Like, take this out. The robot just like runs the guy over. It's wild. But this is the future that they want. The future that they want, this AI controlling everything we say. I was in a live the other day, and I was in TikTok live while I was here on Rumble and YouTube and X, and in real time, me just talking about the news, reading the news, they took down my live in real time. They took it down, and they banned me for like a week for violation of whatever the heck, in real time. Like, this how powerful AI is, that they're listening in real time, and and they're making a decision whether what you're saying is favorable to the regime or not. If it's not favorable to the regime, then you know they shut you up. They take you down in real time. You know, I think. Let me see if I can find the screenshot real quick for you guys, because it was wild. You know, I mean, one thing is like you post a video is up there for a few hours or a few days, and then you get hit with a violation. Happens to me all the time. They don't like free speech. That's why I stopped making videos anywhere else that is not Rumble or X, because they just want they just take your stuff down. And I create content, and I invest a lot of time doing this. This is a lot of I care about doing this, and they just take it down. I can't find a screenshot on that phone. Let me check this phone. So I don't create content on these other platforms anymore. I do go live. I go live, and it's shared and YouTube and these other platforms, but I'm not going out of my way to creating a video. Look, I'm not lying to you. Live access status, misinformation. Look, I don't know if you guys can see it. I promise you that's what that says. Violation reason, misinformation. In a global community, it is natural for people to have different opinions, but we seek to operate blah 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 blah. Significant harm, physical, psychological, societal harm, property. Just citing a bunch of bullshit. Why they had to censor me and take down my live on real time on TikTok. So TikTok is crap, obviously, and this is just where we're at right now. They could just silence you, take your livelihood. There's some people who do this for a living, and they'll just take their livelihood from them. They'll just um, deplatform you. They'll just deplatform you. That's what they'll do, and it's totally fine with them. We already see what's happening to Alex Jones, and I stand with Alex Jones. I've learned a lot from this guy. And he's not perfect. He's got his flaws. He has said, um, he has said things that were untrue. Not, because see, one thing is to purposely tell a lie to the public, and another thing is to just get it wrong. Just get it wrong. You know what I mean? Those are two different things. And we know Alex Jones got sued, and it was a whole FBI funded, and HBO was there, and he was found guilty before, and he didn't even get a chance to defend himself. And now Infowars is being shut down. They're gonna put up Infowars for auction beginning November. In November 10 or 15, I believe, they're going to auction off Infowars. And Infowars might not be no more because the government decided to go after Alex Jones and destroy him. While this man, should be, in my opinion, lauded as an American hero for telling the truth about 9/11. Remember? He called 9/11. Alex Jones live in July of 2001 said that planes were going to fly into the World Trade Center and that the government was going to blame it on Osama bin Laden. In July of that same year, and then we all know what happened September 11, 2001. So how did Alex Jones know in July what was going to happen in September? Well, he has explained it over the years. He just reads the paper. He reads their books. He follows the information, and all the information was out there. Like, we know a plane never struck the Pentagon. We know that. It wasn't a plane, it was a missile. The videos are there. But 99% of people, I promise you, do not know these things. Maybe 90% now because of X and Twitter. These videos are publicly available to you of Alex Jones calling out that there was going to be an inside job, the destruction or collapse of the World Trade Centers. That it was not going to be Osama bin Laden, and perhaps I'm not saying Osama did not do it, but the government was involved, and we know it. Let's just leave it at that because I don't want to go too down the rabbit hole. But look, Alex Jones is just patient zero. You know how they look for patient zero as in the origin of a thing? How they were looking for patient zero where COVID started? Like, how did COVID start? Who was the first one? Oh, it was a bat. It was a wet market. No, it turned out there was a U.S. funded, Fauci ran, Chinese operated, and American operated lab in Wuhan, China. That's why Trump called it the China virus. And it turned out to be true. It turned out to be true. So they clearly want to silence the people who have the cojones, who got the big balls to speak the truth. And this is where we're heading, ladies and gentlemen, with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has said it to our faces publicly in interviews. The internet is forever. Go ahead and look for it. Where she says, you know what, Elon Musk, he needs to be held accountable because he's posting whatever he wants. He has bought Twitter and he has unchecked power on his own platform and unchecked influence, and that that privileged, she called it a privilege, that privilege needs to be taken away. Kamala Harris believes it is a privilege that can be taken away for you to speak what's in your mind, for you to have the ability to exercise your First Amendment right. That, they don't see it as a God given right, they see it as a privilege. Like a kid. You give your kid, a certain privilege. They have privileges of playing video games, of going out with their friends, or using their phones, or using their iPad, and you take that privilege away when they act up, right? Well, that's what Kamala Harris believes. That is a privilege that the government can take away for us to have freedom of speech. Oh yeah. I mean, you guys tell me, should I find the videos for you guys? I mean, I could find the video for sure. It's what they believe. It's what they believe, ladies and gentlemen. They don't believe you have the right to say whatever you want. No, it's a privilege that they can take away. And that's exactly what they're doing with Alex Jones. He is patient zero for, for what they believe is is the experiment on the American people, where they give it, they giveth, and they take it away. That's what they believe. They gave you the privilege to speak your mind, and they can also take it away. Well, I don't think so, lady. It is not a privilege. It is a God-given right as an American for us to speak our mind. To speak our mind. And that is the point. That's what they want to stop. That's what they want to destroy, our ability to say what we want. We're not calling for violence, not calling for, any crimes to be committed, but you should be able to say whatever the hell is on your mind without anybody telling you what to do, because, or what to say, because you pay your damn taxes, because you work your ass off. You shouldn't be lectured by these demonic entities like Kamala Harris, the UN, the World Health Organization. What you could do, what you could say, or how you can live. Absolutely not. So that is just the hate that they spew, that comes out of their mouth. That's what they want, is total chaos and control. They have their plan. You got to have yours. We got to have our own plan. We have to have our own plan. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because this is their plan. Let's listen to a ranking member, Ivan Rankin, telling us what is their plan. If Trump wins, this is one of their plans out of the list of the plans that they have.
So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the nine justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protections that he
Let's listen to it again in case you missed it.
January 6, 2025 to
On January 6, 2025, inauguration day, when Trump wins, this is what Ivan Rankin is planning along with his demonic entities.
tell the rampaging Trump mobs
To tell the rampaging Trump mobs, the despicables, they plan to tell them that Trump,
that he's disqualified. And
that he's disqualified, and that they're not going to certify the elections, that they're not going to recognize him as president, and then
we need bodyguards for everybody
we need bodyguards for everybody in
civil war conditions, all
civil war conditions. I mean, do you realize that these are just not like any little guy on the internet, like me just talking? No, this is a powerful senator of our country telling us what the plan is. And I'm just letting him speak and commenting on his own words. What do you mean, Ivan Rankin, that you're not going to certify the election in 2025? What? What do you mean, Ivan Rankin, that you're not going to recognize President as Trump, and you're going to deal with the rampaging, with the mad Trump mobs? What do you mean civil war conditions? Oh, okay. Okay, that's the plan. And that's all I'm saying here. We can ignore things like these, like what this guy is saying, or we can get ready for it. I posted this August 8th. When they tell you who they are, believe them. Raskin says Democrats are going to disqualify Trump when he wins and implement martial law, civil war conditions, and bodyguards for everybody. Not everybody, because they're not going to give you bodyguards. Only bodyguards for them. They need bodyguards for themselves to protect themselves from you. Because you are the enemy. Because me and you are the enemy. So they're going to need protection from us. I hope this is making sense and that, I'm not just talking to myself here. Maybe I am. But whether I am or not, I'll sleep better at night telling somebody this. They plan civil war conditions if Trump wins. They're planning World War III if Trump wins. Get it through your head. Think of yourselves. Think of yourself. Think of your children. Think of your wife. Think of your job. Do you care? This is what they're planning. Civil war conditions, bodyguards for everybody, and protection from the Trump mob. Martial law. Martial law. Do we forget what martial law is? It's when the government completely takes over the streets. is when the government dissolves the Constitution pretty much and can take your weapon and can call you a threat and can deem you a threat to their regime and dispose of you. You're done. You're out. So all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that we just need to get ready. Like this great American told us, just get ready. Um, Stockpile food, stockpile ammo. Be smart. Don't be violent, but protect yourselves under, the letter of the law, right? Pray and wake up your families and wake up your friends. We have 39 days. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 39 days, 1 hour and 11 minutes. 39 days, 1 hour and 11 minutes. That's what we have, to figure out whether we're gonna have complete tyranny, destruction, and chaos, or we're actually gonna have a country left. Or if we just crumble to pieces. 39 days. We need to start moving. We need to start talking because these are the intentions of these evil people. The people who want to censor us, the people who want to throw you in prisons, um, deplatform, censor us, make life live in hell. They don't care. They'll have bodyguards. They'll have bodyguards to protect them from you and me. This is the reality of the world we live in, and look, you could sit there and say, well, we've had worse times. Well, you don't live on those days. You live now. You have children now. You have a life now. You have kids now. And what are you going to do? Are you just going to bend over and take it? Or are you going to say something about it? Or you're going to vote the person who's going to de-escalate World War III, stop giving our money away to a foreign country, stop focusing on another freaking country that I could care less. Listen. I could care a rat's ass about Ukraine, Spain, Russia, anybody, Canada. I don't give a rat's ass about anybody else. I care about the country I live in. I pay my taxes in. My daughter goes to school. I live. My family lives. This is the country we need to focus on. Why the hell are we giving our money away? I mean, look, if it was for like a just cause, like Jesus Christ, uh, the earth opened up and swallow up, 100,000 people, 500,000 people. Yeah, let's go ahead. Shit, I might even volunteer and go over to that country and help out. But that is a problem. That's a virtue. That's a virtue of the American people, but also our problem. We have been way too given. We have been way too given over the years, and it just has become a culture of you have give, agree to everything, to all the problems in the world, while the world is looking at us. Hey, doctor, cure yourself. That's the saying in the good book. They'll say, hey, doctor, cure yourself. Why are you ignoring your disease? Why are you ignoring your problems? And we need to understand that this current government is ignoring our problems, is ignoring that Aurora, Colorado has been taken over. I mean, imagine you and me, just regular hardworking Americans who love their country, have families and children, and pay their taxes. Imagine if we decide, I want some extra money. I want some, some rent money of a property that I've never bought, never maintained, never paid bills. I'm just gonna go in there with a few of my buddies and take it over and take people's money. You know how fast we would have a Waco, another Waco? You know how fast me or you would be just sent out, sent up with the Lord, in that case, the devil. You know how fast you would disappear, how many marshals, how many FBI agents, just how many state police, all the government agencies and their mothers will show up to take you and me out. But in Aurora, Colorado, the migrants are just, they're just allowed. They're just allowed to take over Aurora, Colorado. They're just allowed to take over Chicago. They're just allowed to do whatever they want in New York. Or do we forget the cop who got beat up in New York? Did we forget about the cop who got beat up in public, New York street? And the next day, they 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 roam the streets free, free as a bird, free as a bird, fly like an eagle. They were just free, just walking away free. No consequences, no, just giving American people the good old double digits, the good old middle finger. Yeah, did we forget about that? Did we forget about my boy over here who beat up, him and his buddy beat up a New York cop? And they were just, yeah, they just gave us the middle finger, baby. This is what they think of us right now, to be honest with you, around the world. We ain't doing anything any different. The border is still wide open. Haitians are eating our cats and dogs. Yes, they're eating cats and dogs. Go look up the video. And we have 39 days to choose whether we're going to have affordable groceries or World War III. We have 39 days to figure this thing out. We have 39 days to speak to our families, our friends, our neighbors, our ex, our side chick. Now that I have a side chick, okay? If my wife is listening, I don't. Uh, my point is, tell everybody we get in contact with, hey, brother, do you know that your money's being sent out to fight a war that we're never going to win? Did you know that our border is wide open and that 320,000 children are missing? We should probably tell people that. Hey guys, it's 320,000 children are missing. They came in at the border, and for all we know, man, there aren't some trafficking operation. They're just sex um operatives right now for a cartel or for some despicable human being making money off of them. You can only sell a bag of coke once, but you can sell a child multiple times, over and over and over again. And this is why, sex trafficking is so profitable and they love it so much. Because yeah, they can be sold over and over again. They can make profit over and over again. And that is what we're currently allowing in our country. That is what we're currently allowing in our country. I made a report on this. We can find that video September 5th. This is what we're allowing in our country right now. The governor of Colorado telling us, hey, no, that is not happening. That is a product of it's people imagination. Migrants hijacking school buses. It's just our imagination, according to the governor of Colorado. I mean, what kind of despicable human being do you have to be to like have footage, video, pictures, testimony, written testimony, and actual victims who are saying all of this is happening in our country, and to say, hey, no, it's just your imagination, guys. All of this, these guys collecting rent and, you know, going into jewelry stores and stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry and cash. That's just the product of your imagination. Yeah, you need to be pretty sick for that. Just to say that. You need to be pretty sick to say that, losing 300 300 300,000, but then the report got corrected to 320,000, over 320,000. And remember, that's just the government number. That's just the number that they're giving us. In the middle of an election year, the Department of Homeland Security, that's captured by and completely servants to Biden Harris, that they're not going to tell you the real number. You think that's the real number? What they gave Ukraine an extra $6 billion, and there was an accountant error. This government, uh, 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 they couldn't hide it. They couldn't hide it. There was $6 billion missing, and they said, "Oh, man, we just put an extra zero on that check." Shit, Biden, send me an extra check. Not that I get any check, but I'll give you my address. Send me a check with many zeros in them. No, but an extra $6 billion. My point is, that these are not the real numbers. It's not 300,000 children who are being opened up, cold blooded, and their organs harvested. If you don't know now, they open up these children's cold blood. They take out parts of their bodies, kidneys, hearts, anything you could think of. It's a full on carniceria. It's a full on meat processing uh factory. They're just meat, and they get chopped up and sold to the highest bidder. It's not 300,000. It's probably 1 million to 1.5 million children that they cannot. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, because we know Latin American countries, we have large families. So for every like uh, uh, in most households, you have 3 and 4 children. So that number, my estimation, is 3 to 5 times bigger. 3 to 5 times bigger. I really do believe that number, it's going to come out. That's probably, um that's probably 3 to 5 million children that are missing. 3 to 5 million children. You tell me if that's the government you want to vote for in 39 days. Ask yourself, look in the mirror. If you have a conscience, look at your children, look at your community, look at your nieces, your nephew, uh, and say to yourself, is this the government that I'm going to stake my life and future on. I mean, I'm going to trust them with protecting my children. The chief border patrol agent was told, not to tell us the number of arrests, the number of terrorists arrested at the border. He came out and he blew the whistle because he's a man. He's a serious man who has a conscience. But he came out last week in testimony in Congress and said, "Hey, they told me not to report the arrest of the terrorists that are being apprehended at the border and of the terrorists that got away. They're telling us not to say nothing about this. Hey, they don't care about your safety. They don't care to tell the truth. They don't care to alert you if a terrorist has been loosed in your city. They don't care about this." Yeah, I reposted this from Sarah Adams. Former patrol chief. This guy was the top guy, the top brass. Aaron testified before Congress that he was ordered by the Biden Harris administration to cover up the number of terrorists arrested at the border. I mean, I don't think you need me at all to explain this to you. You don't need me to explain this to you. To cover up the arrests of all the dozens, hundreds of arrests. And then he goes on to say how he had to um, focus on shipping aliens around the country. $150,000 a flight, private jets, flying illegal, just focusing on bringing in illegals, apprehending them for speed, for bringing them in. It was all about being fast. It was all about being fast, not about finding out who the hell they are. It was all about flooding the border, like Biden said, rush the border. That's what Biden said. Immediately as he becomes president, he was going to allow the border to be rushed. Oh, yeah, look it up. So the government that's not telling you, hey, you are unsafe, hey, you are in danger, is the government that doesn't like you. Is the government that, what else they're going to allow to happen? What else is this Biden Harris administration keeping from us? Maybe they're keeping from us who's really trying to kill Trump. Maybe they're keeping from us what these vaccines really did. What these not vaccine, I apologize. These biological weapons of mass destruction did to the American people and to the rest of the world. Why were there patents for the coronavirus and all of these other diseases that have destroyed countless lives around the world? Patents? Really? These viruses? Like a product? Like something man made? But here we are, this current government lying to you, covering up. And this man, just he had enough. He blew the whistle. Again, like Marcus Allen, the FBI whistleblower that we spoke about at the beginning, that's telling us, hey, something has happened. Something is going to happen. Stockpile food, arm yourselves, pray. Because shit's going to hit the fan. Because all of these top guys who are good people, good Americans, are telling us something is happening. Something's going to happen. A major terrorist attack is coming. And they can't, in good conscience, be silent about this. They know that they're going to face their maker and that they won't be able to live in peace if they don't say something about it. And this is why you need to say something about these upcoming elections in 39 days. In 39 days and 52 minutes, 30 seconds, the biggest election in of our lifetime is coming up. And if you want the government that is covering up what terrorists, what, how many terrorists are in this country, how many terrorists they have caught, what terrorists are planning. If you want that type of government, go ahead and vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not even going to try and convince you. Go ahead. But if you're an American who cares about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, freedom of speech, a good job, being able to pay your mortgage, pay groceries, take a vacation. Most of us can't afford to go on a vacation. I used to take 2 to 3 vacations a year. Me and my wife would travel, up for months. We can't do that anymore because of how bad the economy is. I'm being honest with you. I'm not here to deceive anybody. I'm telling you the truth. I'm a business owner. I deal with other businesses and they're doing terrible. The economy is doing terrible. Those 800,000 jobs that the Department of Labor said that, you know, we had picked up, it was all a lie. It was a lie. Then then it got corrected. We are just living on a world of freaking lies by this government. And if that's what you want, then go ahead and vote for the other side. But if you, in good conscience, understand that, hey, maybe you don't like, maybe you don't like Trump as a person, but like my buddy was telling me, hey, I don't like Trump as a person, but whoa, man, the economy was much better. We didn't have this war in Ukraine and in Israel. We didn't have the borders wide open and terrorists coming in and the cover up that terrorists are coming in. Yeah, August 21, the Biden administration was forced to admit that they overstated, no, not overstated, they bold-faced lie that they had created 818,000 jobs the last fiscal year. All lies. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. I encourage you to register to vote if you haven't voted. It is your civil duty. It is the way we take our country back. It is the way we slow. It might not be the solution to all the problems, but we can at least, slow down this train wreck. Let's slow down the train wreck right now. Please subscribe. Just give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'm doing all I can. I'm doing all I can as an American, as a Marine, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, to wake up all the people around me and to inform you about everything that's going on. I'm just doing my part so I can sleep, with my conscience clear that I'm actually trying to do something here. Just how other people woke me up to the facts, I believe I can, and you can, and we can together wake up the masses for what's to come. Follow me on X as Alexander Sabe. on X, Alexander Sabe underscore. Um, I am on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, Instagram. We are everywhere you get your podcasts. We are live every single day, ladies and gentlemen, to the all of the how many 35 of you, 35 to 40 of you who stayed with me for this hour and a half. I appreciate your time. I'm deeply grateful. I send blessings your way. We're going to be live every single day, every day that we can for the next 39 days till election day, because this is indeed the biggest election of our lifetime. It's either affordable groceries or World War III. You guys choose. I'm Alexander Sabe. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Please share, subscribe, and like. It is for free. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Many blessings. Good night.